we do believe that we've already sent enough to pop the policy limits now, and we feel it even more so if we're about to send over the additional documents that we're about to send as well. I don't have everything that you asked for, but I think it's unreasonable at this point if you guys get everything that we're about to send and you're still not going to tender limits. If it's a minimum limits policy. If you don't have a minimum limits policy, I understand. But my understanding is that you do have a minimum limits policy here.
I'm not able to advise the policy limit, but if you want to send that information over, I can then evaluate and then go from there. I'm not able to tell if we've reached anything at this point, but again, I can't advise what the policy limits are.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll send everything over. Can you send me a two-way email so that I could upload everything else that I have?
Yeah, I can send a link through your portal. Thank you, bye.
All right, so what we have right now is we have a case that we believe Progressive should give us the policy limits. The policy limits are the amount of policy limits that are on the insurance policy of the person who caused the accident. We believe in this circumstance that there's a minimum limits policy, which is $30,000 per person. We have enough records and bills to where we feel like the insurance company has more than enough to make the decision to give us the policy limits. But what has happened in this specific case is the adjuster has basically wrote us a letter saying, we want this record and this record and this bill and this bill and this bill, and we want this prior and this and this and this. And they sent this big letter with all these different things that they want. And if it's not a minimum limits policy, they are in their right to do that, because that means there's more money to go after, and that means they need more documentation to make a decision of whether they should give that money or not. But if it's a minimum limits policy and we're already providing more than enough for them to tender this policy, there's no need for us to give them more and more and more records and drag this out when the maximum limits have already been reached by what we sent. What we do in this situation is we send over what we have and we demand the policy limits, and we say this demand is being sent pursuant to Stowers. Now, the Stowers doctrine basically says that if an insurance company does not give their full policy limits when they have more than enough to do so, then a lawsuit could be filed and you can go after the insurance company for more than their policy limits. So this adjuster and Progressive have to make the decision of whether or not they want to deny this again with Stowers on the table, knowing that they could get hit for even more later on, which we have done before. So we have no problem when insurance companies deny it and say, we're not going to give it to you, because then we could file suit and we can go after even more. So very often they just say, here, take the policy limits, leave us alone. We're not going to put ourselves in that additional risk category. So, that's what these insurance claims are all about. It's all about risk. It's all about risk of whether the insurance company should pay out this much or that much. It's all about risk of whether a law firm wants to take a case or not. It's all about risk if you are going to get this much paid, this much medical bills paid for, or this much medical bills paid for. It's all a risk when the doctor says, I'll agree to treat the client for free and get paid back when the case settles. The whole industry is about risk. So insurance companies have to weigh out those risks to say, do we want to fight this thing more? Do we want to pay our own attorney to fight this thing? Do we want to drag this out and clog up our system and clog up, the amount of cases that we have going on right now, the amount of claims that we have going on right now? Do we want to clog that all up when these adjusters already have mountains of claims on their desk? Or do we just want to settle this one and be done with it? I think in this situation, we will get the policy limits, and I've been right many times before, and I'll be right again. So I hope this video has been educational or helpful to you. If you'd like a free case evaluation, you can reach out anytime, 832-925-2030. God bless you and have a good day.